So you want to ride 100 miles? Oh dear. I'll be honest, it's a big challenge, but it's one of the most rewarding days you can have on a bike. And today, I'll talk you through everything you need to know, from training to nutrition, to pacing, to the mental side of it, so that you don't just survive your first 100 miles, you actually enjoy it. And I'll do this amidst riding 100 miles myself with some of our Omnia Performance training community. 11 laps of Richmond Park here in London, with 7 key points to consider. So before we talk about anything training, nutrition, or route planning related, let's talk about this thing, a bike. Bikes are great until they aren't. And if you're a regular cyclist at this point, I'm sure that you're probably thinking about the last time that you were sat on the side of the road with a puncture, a bad mood, and cramp in your fingers. So let's make sure that you and your bike are ready to ride. You should be able to change an inner tube and repair a puncture. You should be comfortable on your bike, and if budget allows, have gotten yourself in for a bike fit. Your bike should be clean and ideally recently serviced. The main thing to check is that your brake pads aren't rubbing or worn, that your tires are in good nick and full of air, and that your gears and brake levers are in full and compliant working order. If you're watching this thinking, wow, this is basic, of course I can do all of that stuff, and my bike is like my child, then please don't be insulted, as we're about to get into some more details.
Okay, so let's talk about kit, which can make or break your first century ride. The main thing to consider here is a comfortable pair of bib shorts, perhaps paired with a healthy serving of chamois cream to prevent any friction in areas that you would like to protect. Beyond this, we will all have different weather, bike setups, and therefore we'll need a different checklist of things to take with us. So simply, make sure you're prepared for whatever the weather might throw your way, whatever bike mechanicals might show up, and whatever tech or personal items you need to carry. Prepare yourself. I don't think there's a hard and fast entry requirement for a century ride, but I would say that once you're used to spending a few hours in the saddle at a time, have an understanding of your nutrition, which we'll come on to shortly, and have boxed off around 60 miles in one ride, it could be time to party. And by party, I of course mean cover your nether regions in chamois cream and get shouted at by inconsiderate drivers for several hours. Of course. If you can avoid any high intensity sessions the week before your first century ride and taper off your other training for the week a little beforehand, this should help with your energy reserves and recovery before game day. But the beauty of a 100 miler is that you can take it at your own pace and rely largely on your aerobic capacity, that I would assume you have some semblance of, given you've clicked on this video. As with all training, specificity is king. So the more time in the saddle beforehand, the less time your 100 miler will be. So let's break this down in as simple terms as possible. The three pillars of performance nutrition when it comes to long endurance training: carbs, water, and sodium. The requirements for all these are individual, so why not take advantage of a free nutrition consultation with our in-house performance nutritionist, Tom McClure, via the link in the description down below. But whilst they are individual, we do need some parameters to work within to figure out what works best for us, so let's break it down. Generally speaking, to fuel a 100-mile ride, you need to aim for about 60 to 90 grams of carbs per hour, about 400 to 600 milligrams of sodium as a starting point, and about 500 to 750 milliliters of water per hour. These are of course all variable based on the climate, your sweat rate, level of intensity, your experience, but as a ballpark, you should roughly aim for these. Here's a quick hack. You can triple down on your carbs, your water, and your sodium by using a carbon electrolyte powder in your water, which means you can simplify things down into bottles per hour, plus some additional carb sources along the way. It's difficult to overeat on a 100 miler, but it's very easy to undereat. So make sure that you, at the very least, work in some trial and error in your training leading up to your first 100 mile ride, so you know roughly what you're aiming for when you hit your first 100 mile ride, so that you can avoid the dreaded bonk.
What is in, when you say peak, that is in not too much?
That was definitely first time. Elliot, then rapidly chop up all of the bits that I failed beforehand. Riding in circles with my friends. Weird behaviour this. 8 laps down, 7 to go. We are just under 90k deep, so at this point in any century ride, you'd probably expect to be starting to feel it a little bit. I am feeling a little bit of wear and tear on the hills, but when we're on the flats, I'm still feeling pretty smooth, but that's down to just keeping eating. So the main thing is just keep eating as you go through the mental peaks and troughs, physically and mentally. The thing that's probably going to get you to the end of 100 miles most successfully is to keep fueling the tank. Prepare your route. Perhaps today isn't the best example of this from my point of view, but at least 11 laps of the same park is simple, and that's exactly what your route should be.
simple. You can achieve this through planning rather than guessing, as nothing derails a big ride more than realizing the road that Strava's route builder has suggested was actually a field with a bull in it. Plan your route, know your route, and follow your route. This is where a bike computer can be a great investment, but be under no illusion you don't need one to ride 100 miles. Just a quick aside to say hello to one of the most miserable, whilst also useful training tools on a bike, the Turbo Trainer. And speaking of training tools, I am very excited to announce that the Strength and 50 miler and Strength and 100 miler training plans have just gone live on Omnia's membership platform. So if you're looking to build your squat, bench and deadlift alongside training towards a 50 mile or 100 mile bike ride, then we have got you covered. As well as joining an online community of like-minded athletes from all over the world, we have athletes in 74 countries, which is still quite difficult to believe from my end, but also very exciting, as well as nutrition support and monthly webinars, seminars, depending on what tier you are on. If you're interested in one-to-one coaching as well to improve your cycling alongside your strength, then please do check out the link in the description down below. And if you're looking to save 25% off your first month on any of our tier options, then use the code FC25. Check out the link in the description down below. Back to Richmond Park. Prepare your crew. 100 miles is tough, and that's the point. So for your first one, it might be worth getting the gang together, jumping into a club ride or a local group. There will be both physical and mental ebbs and flows, and most of the value of the century is learning how you adapt to them and what you can learn from them afterwards. But for round one, you don't need to Goggins it and suffer. You can lean on others and their experience to get it done. And then, when the time comes, you can battle 100 miles alone, which comes with some really solid resilience development alongside the FTP development. Bonjour. I'm speaking in French because the weather has become quite French. We are 140 kilometers deep. We have 2 laps to go. Morale is low. Carbs are low. Sodium is low. Fluids are low. That pretty much summarizes 100 miles. Have I convinced you to do one? I think there's 3 of us doing 2 more laps to do the full 15. Kieran's chain is dropping, so he's going to reserve full capacity to be able to get him home. And it'll be a good day out for us all.
Still 100 miles. Just got to let everyone know. Still 100 miles.
Is it? He also forgot to restart his bike computer, so whilst he's saying, oh, it's 100 miles, his Strava will say otherwise, so it didn't happen. Oh, that's another thing to consider when riding your first 100 miles. It's not on Strava, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen. It is the rule, so officially I have no longer done one.
Prepare your refuel. This is perhaps an entirely personal point, but after a big ride, the only person that dislikes me more than my gooch does is my dentist. Lots of fast-acting, often sweet carbs for 5 hours or more leads to some real palate fatigue. So plan in your post-ride meal, look forward to it, share it with someone, and kickstart your recovery from a big old effort. Well done. Refueling. Live action refueling. I'll take 1 gel and honeycomb chocolate. Is that a new flavour or just a rebrand? Just check there's no peanuts in here. That would not be a good way to end this ride, or a good way to get myself out of the last 2 laps. Do you reckon I can do it in 1? No. Just delete that clip, actually. That could be used for the wrong reasons. 100 of your finest miles, please, sir. Whose idea was that? 15 laps of Richmond Park. What an idiot.
Shift.
Have a guess what his name is?
Fergus 2.
Literally. Fergus 2. Get it? Do you mean that? What? Do you mean that? Fergus 2. Let me debrief you on the data. It's on the screen for you just now. 5 hours and 51 minutes and 51 seconds. Bloody hell. Fergus squared. 5:51:51. This is all very neat. 161.6k, 27.6 kilometers an hour. Average heart rate 138. Average watts 170. Training stress score of 351. Which is pretty high. Okay, job done, 100 miles complete, and our video today is complete. So hopefully that has been insightful for you, as there are 7 things to consider for your first century ride. If you have done century rides in the past and would like to share any insights that you have down below, please do drop them in there. And if you are planning in a big ride, then please let the comments know down below as well, so we can all hype you up, and then you can come back and let us know how you all got on, and we can all go, woo, well done, nice work, buddy, and pat each other on the back and have a really supportive, positive environment, because if you're riding 15 laps around Richmond Park like I am, then you will need it. That's pretty much that. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have done, please do make sure to drop that like down below, comment with your thoughts, feelings and or insights, as I've already mentioned, hit subscribe and ding that little bell icon whilst you are in the region. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.